start with DA Carmack Altweiss. What evidence exactly convinced you to charge Baldwin in this case?
Well, there was really a totality of the evidence. Mr. Baldwin had a duty at the base level to never hold a gun and point it at a person while pulling the trigger. But he also had a duty as an actor and a producer on that set to have the bullets checked or to check them himself to make sure that they weren't live. And he had a duty to make sure that the set was a safe set. And we know from multiple accounts that it was not a safe set. He should have known, he should have done something about it. So it was all of that led to the decision to charge him.
All right, and maybe I'll go to Special Prosecutor Reed. Baldwin has repeatedly denied pulling the trigger. Take a listen to this.
I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
It appears that you have evidence that contradicts this claim. Do you?
Yes, we do, and we definitely believe he pulled the trigger. The FBI lab report confirms that, so definitely the trigger was pulled.
Well, howdy folks, this is your friendly neighborhood watchman, here with you today on another video on the Alec Baldwin fatal shooting of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins on the film set of Rust. Well, it's gone to the wire that Alec Baldwin and the armorer Halyna Gutierrez-Reed will be charged with involuntary manslaughter. It's been a long time coming and it's finally here, but that's just the charges. So I will be reading this article for the first time. It's from the New York Post and it's by an assortment of journalists: Gabrielle Fonrouge, Ben Keslin, Marjorie Hernandez, and Elizabeth Rosner. So, without further ado, let's kick it off. Alec Baldwin will be criminally charged in connection with the Rust shooting that left cinematographer Halyna Hutchins dead, prosecutors said Thursday. New Mexico prosecutors will charge Baldwin and armorer Halyna Gutierrez-Reed with 2 federal counts of involuntary manslaughter over the death of Hutchins on the Rust film set in October 2021, when a real bullet was loaded into a prop gun. Assistant Director David Halls, who handed Baldwin the loaded gun, accepted a misdemeanor charge in a plea deal. If any one of these 3 people, Alec Baldwin, Halyna Gutierrez-Reed, or David Halls, Halyna Hutchins, would be alive today, it's that simple, Special Prosecutor Andrea Reeb said. Baldwin and Gutierrez-Reed will both be charged. In the alternative, meaning the jury will decide which of the 2 charges, involuntary manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter in the commission of a lawful act, they are or are not guilty of. The first charge carries a maximum sentence of 18 months, but because the second charge includes a firearm enhancement, both Baldwin and Gutierrez-Reed will face a mandatory 5-year sentence if convicted. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Baldwin was charged with the second, or even if he was, that he'd be handed down a 5-year sentence. Gutierrez-Reed, on the other hand, not a well-known actor. I have no such confidence. There's the narcissist himself, and there's Halyna Gutierrez-Reed, the armorer.
Okay, what is your full name?
The film's armourer, Halyna Gutierrez-Reed, is also captured on police body cam in the immediate aftermath of the shooting. The 24-year-old was responsible for safety of guns on the set. She is now suing the weapons provider, alleging he supplied a mismarked box of ammunition containing live rounds.
District Attorney Mary Carmack Altweiss, who will hand down the charges, said that following, quote, a thorough review of the evidence and the laws, I have determined that there is sufficient evidence to file criminal charges against Alec Baldwin and other members of the Rust film crew, unquote. On my watch, no one is above the law and everyone deserves justice, she declared in a written statement. Well, I hope that's true. Baldwin's lawyer, Luke Nikas, slammed the charges Thursday, saying the actor was in no way responsible for the tragic accident. Yeah, you are a snake for saying he was in no way responsible. He was the producer. He was responsible. He bears the responsibility. It happened under his watch, and he pulled the trigger himself. But anyway, Let me not get fired up here. To continue, this decision distorts Halyna Hutchins' tragic death and represents a terrible miscarriage of justice. He told the Post, Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe that there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere in the movie set. He relied on the professionals with whom he worked, who assured him the gun did not have live rounds. We will fight these charges and we will win. Baldwin had no reason to believe there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere in the movie set. It has already been made known in prior articles that there was fooling around. There was gunplay on the set with live bullets, shooting at targets and whatnot. I said it before, she would still be alive if the film set was under the control of someone responsible and that followed industry protocol. Jason Bowles, the lawyer for Gutierrez-Reed, insisted Thursday that his client did not commit involuntary manslaughter. These charges are the result of a very flawed investigation and an inaccurate understanding of the full facts. We intend to bring the full truth to light and believe Hannah will be exonerated of wrongdoing by a jury, he said in a statement. The long-awaited decision to charge the 30 rock star and the two others came after meticulous investigation revealed they all bore partial responsibility for the shooting that killed married mom Hutchins, 42, and injured director Joel Souza, 49. Each defendant will get a preliminary court hearing within the 60 days to determine if there is probable cause to go to trial, prosecutors said. During their initial investigation, detectives from the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office said they found a mixture of dummy rounds and live rounds scattered throughout the set, which goes contrary to what Alec Baldwin's lawyer just said in a statement I just read a minute ago, which is a violation of industry safety standards. At the time, Cormac Altwies said determining how the live rounds got to the set will be one of the most important factors into a charging decision. Gutierrez-Reed, the armorer in charge of ammo and weapons on set, has repeatedly denied responsibility for the shooting. In January 2022, she filed suit against the props company that supplied the rounds, alleging it sold blanks and lives mixed together. At the time of the shooting, Baldwin was sitting on a pew in a mock church at the Bonanza Creek Ranch, rehearsing a cross draw as Hutchins and Souza stood behind the camera. As he rehearsed, he pulled out the gun, pointed it directly at the camera, and it fired a single bullet that struck both Hutchins and Souza. The Emmy winner has repeatedly denied pulling the trigger, saying the gun went off accidentally. But an FBI forensic report released in August, and which I made a video about, concluded the firearm couldn't have gone off unless someone released the trigger. Souza told police he recalled hearing the phrase "cold gun" while preparing for the scene, indicating the firearm wasn't loaded and was safe for use, but he couldn't remember if the gun had been checked before it was handed to Baldwin. Halls admitted to police he should have checked all of the rounds inside the weapon after Gutierrez-Reed passed it to him. David advised when Hannah showed him the firearm before continuing rehearsal, he could only remember seeing 3 rounds. He advised he should have checked all of them, but didn't, and couldn't recall if she spun the drum, detectives wrote in a search warrant affidavit filed last fall. When asked about the safety protocols on set in regards to firearms, Hall told police the armorer typically spins the drum and checks to ensure there are no live rounds before handing it off. Quote, I check the barrel for obstructions. Most of the time there's no live fire. Hannah opens the hatch and spins the drum, and I say cold gun on set, unquote, Halls told authorities. During Gutierrez-Reed's interview with cops, she told investigators she checked the dummies and ensured they were not hot rounds, the affidavit stated. Hannah advised she handed the gun to Alec Baldwin a couple of times, and also handed it to David Halls. When a detective asked about live ammo on set, Hannah responded, no live ammo is ever kept on set, the filing stated. After the round struck the 2 crew members, Hall picked up the gun from the pew where Baldwin was sitting and handed it to Gutierrez-Reed. The rookie armorer was told to open the gun so Halls could see what was inside, and he recalled seeing at least 4 dummy casings with the hole on the side, and 1 without the hole, the affidavit said. He advised this round did not have the cap on it and it was just a casing. David advised the incident was not a deliberate act. According to the search warrant, When the crew broke for lunch the day of the shooting, the firearms were secured in a prop truck, but during lunch, Gutierrez told police that ammo was left on a cart on the set, not secured, the document said. In February, Hutchins' family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Baldwin, alleging the actor was responsible for the filmmaker's death because he was the person holding the weapon. I think it's clear what happened, Hutchins' family lawyer Brian Panish said at a press conference in Los Angeles after the suit was filed. He had the gun. He says he pulled the hammer back, it fired, and she was killed. The experts will look at it and make any determinations, but we don't think this was caused by any defect in the weapon. The lawsuit was settled for an undisclosed amount in October. As part of the settlement, Hutchins' widower, Matthew, was also named as an executive producer on the film. Randy McGinn, a lawyer from Albuquerque, who is also representing the Hutchins family, said she is confident that a New Mexico jury will be able to understand the complexities of the case. We're used to people coming in from out of town to play cowboy who don't know how to use guns, McGinn said. Ooh, burn. The jury in Santa Fe is used to that and understands that even on a dude ranch, you don't hand somebody a gun until you've given them safety training. No one should ever die with a real gun on a make-believe set. And boom, that's how you end an article. And with that, my friends, we will end this video here on a tough subject involving a needlessly tragic situation. So folks, hit that like button if you support the charges against Alec Baldwin. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And hit the notification bell. And as always, stay safe and I bid you peace.
A report by the state of New Mexico last week found the producers of the film were responsible for the death of Halyna Hutchins, saying they showed a plain indifference to employee safety. There could yet be criminal charges brought. The entirety of that police investigation into the shooting which horrified Hollywood is now in the public domain. Martha Kellner, Sky News.